Safety dance. We can fly where you want to. We can leave your house behind. But if your friends don't mask, and why don't they mask? Well, they won't fly this airline.
You can fly if you want to, cause we do safety right. We have air that's clean and disinfectant machines zapping germs like an arcade space fight. And we dance
Do the dance, do the dance.
Everybody wash some hands.
Do the dance, while always wearing a mask. Do the dance, do the dance.
No, seriously, please wash your hands.
Do the dance, do the dance.
Have the filters cleaning commence.
Alaska safe.
I don't want to hear anyone complaining about AI, okay? Like, while our society produces that level of garbage, I don't want to hear anyone saying anything negative about AI ever. Because the competition is pretty low. Anyway, Jean-Cush the Great, thank you for the $5. What was the song at the end of the video about the executing nuns? That was a song that I made using AI with my own lyrics. So I wrote the lyrics myself, and then I put it into a program. I described the type of music that I wanted, and then the lady started singing. So, unfortunately, I cannot commission something like that because it would require an orchestra. And I can't afford an orchestra. But for an interesting closure to a YouTube video, I thought, okay, why not? You know, it's 15 minutes of me talking. May as well start moving away from the Luddites and use the technology available. You liked it. You liked the safety dance. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say to that. You've given me a 10-second stun. I need to process. Liking the safety dance. To me, it's trauma. Like, I remember how it was, because I lived in a apartment building, and I literally couldn't leave my home without paperwork. And even with paperwork, like, I needed to have good reason for leaving my house. And so, every time I left, even though I had good reason, I knew that I could get 2,000 euros fine for breaking the quarantine, even though I was healthy. And all of that was in the name of safety. And since that day, I really have an adversity to anyone that even mentions safety. Anyway. No, I think like this is actually worse than the no square dance. No, I think the safety dance is something deeply traumatic. Probably a lot of the Zoomer generations have been traumatized by the pandemic measures. You know, the government wanted to save us from the virus, but at the end of it, I was praying for the virus to save us from the government. Anyway, right. Today we're going to be talking about women. Now, I really wanted to find out where this clip was from, but I don't have a TikTok, so I'm going to have to react to Asvigold reacting. But I only could see like 30 seconds of it before I went insane. And I said, okay, well, if I'm going to go insane, may as well have witnesses. And you're going to get like my actual reaction from this. Just I don't even know if the word awful can cover it. But anyway, right, let's hear the women having their own podcast. I think this is like the equivalent of the Whatever podcast, but for women.
Group chat? I can tell. This is a Karen.
Is it normal to worry about my boyfriend?
Why is it that the most insufferable takes that you can get come from people that have a British accent? Did you notice that? Probably they could come from someone that has an Indian accent, because like I've been on X a lot and I've noticed that there's a lot of Indians undercover. But like other than that, like even Germans don't have these bad takes. Like French people don't have these bad takes. But whenever you hear someone that like British and they have a take, it's usually something that makes you want to take a hammer to the computer screen. Every single fucking time.
I hate my boyfriend's group chat. I can tell. This is a Karen.
Is it normal to worry about my boyfriend's group chat?
Okay, interesting.
This secret came to light after my partner, whom we can call Damon,
Bro, she's complaining about a group chat. She called her boyfriend a partner. Poor Damon. Damon's living.
I mean, so far, I don't think it's a bad thing, you know, like calling your boyfriend a partner, whatever, you know, maybe this is the slang they use in British, like, fine.
With a demon.
Damon got invited to a Bucks party interstate.
Bachelor's party.
I immediately felt icky about it because it's not inclusive to everyone.
Like, already, I wish I was in America in order to own a gun. Like, Romania literally saved me. Like, it saved my life by not allowing me to purchase firearms. Inclusive. It's not inclusive. Good. Good. Like anything that's inclusive is not worth doing. If it's for everyone, it's for the fucking peasantry. People are below me. Why should I, you know, enjoy the same shit that everyone else does?
It caused a lot of controversy between
You know, like look at, yeah, inclusive. Look at her body language, right?
It caused
Inclusive.
a lot of controversy between some of us women.
Some of their inclusivity.
The partners left behind.
I bet.
So we all organized a time to catch up and talk it through.
So let me get this straight. The guys wanted to go out for a bachelor party, and so all the women got together and complained about him? I believe that.
When we caught up, some of us found out about the intense bullying taking place in their boys' group chat. Screenshots of some of the messages between the boys were being shown around. And no, don't worry, no one snuck into their
Look at their faces. It's almost like someone was planning a terrorist attack, you know? It's like they snuck in the uranium in the garage and they're making like these faces as if it's like, what the fuck was going on? Literally, some guys on a group chat were having fun and these women are extremely concerned. It's like, what? We're allowing men to have fun? When did this happen? Are we losing control of the nation? Like, men are having fun without our approval? At a bachelor party? In a group chat? That's so fucking disgusting. It's vile. Look, it's like you're showing her maggots. Like, this is the expression that a person makes if you show them a plate of maggots. Literally, like, this fish is like, what the fuck is that, you know? They're talking about men enjoying themselves.
partner's phone. The boys happily showed up the contents, which makes this even worse. The screenshot I saw included negging about the boys who couldn't attend, making homophobic slurs.
Oh my god! Oh, homophobic slurs! Like, quick, call Keir Starmer! We need like 45 task force on this, on the fucking double! Oh, the e-safety commissioner from Australia, is that bitch asleep? Like, does she not get paid $500,000 to crack on this shit? Like, what is it? You know, like, making slurs about the homosexuals? Like, don't they know that they're the British aristocracy? Like, these fucking peasants on their group chat are slandering our aristocracy. Like, do they not know what homosexuals have done for Britain? Like, can you imagine a world where Britain doesn't have homosexuals? Like, how dare these assholes use slurs in a group chat that are homophobic? I mean, like, look, I agree with this lady. It's like, right? Like, you can't believe it. Ghastly. Absolutely ghastly. Holy shit, you know, what type of man would do something like that? Oh, Dios mío. Yeah, they probably didn't have a license for saying those words. It's kind of funny because, like, if you guys didn't check the recent news, we got Tucker Carlson using those homophobic slurs in front of Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan didn't know what to do. He was like, I'm not going to say it. No. Slurrophobes. Yes, slurrophobes. Wait, you can actually buy a homophobia license, okay? There is a possibility. China and Saudi Arabia has homophobia license. What do I mean by this? Well, think about it this way. Every single TV show that's airing has a gay couple, no exception. Like, nothing that came out after 2018 that's a TV show made in the United States exists without a homosexual couple. Now, there is a reason for this. It's not accidental, it's bureaucratic. Like, literally, if you look at Netflix, if you look at Amazon, if you look at most of these networks, they flat out say that they covet diversity. So they need homosexuals in order, you know, the same way like when you play StarCraft, you need a pylon in order to build more units. It's the same way that when you make a TV show, you need a homosexual couple in order to have other actors. And so, every single TV show has them. But, and this is interesting, if you look at movies, like blockbuster films, none of them have any homosexual characters, right? Unless it's Disney and they're like, oh, we're going to have our first gay kiss. And it's like a one-frame thing, right? The reason for this is that China, like Mao Zedong, he pays his homophobia tax. If you actually put homosexuals on the blockbuster, it doesn't get sold in China. It doesn't get sold in the Middle East, right? And so, like, these are the people that would lecture the living shit out of Americans. You know, call them bigots, call them racist, call them all of that. But when it comes to China, they're like, oh, well, we're not going to push our ideology into China, right? Because China are respectable people. Like, they're... The thing, though, you know, like, what I'm noticing about it is that what is the problem with some men sitting on a group chat and having banter and trash talking with each other, right? And then you have, like, the same women that are basically saying, oh, well, you know, like, feminism is also about men because patriarchy forces men to be stoic and they force them to keep all these emotions bottled up inside and then the man explodes. It explodes into a rape culture machine. So, like, feminism tries to heal that. Yeah, I saw. Whenever men are having fun, you need at least, like, 3 characters to be hyper concerned about it. Alright, let's see if I can actually watch this from the start again. Without interrupting, because it's so difficult for me. Like, it's triggering, honestly.
I hate my boyfriend's group chat. I can tell. This is a Karen.
Is it normal to worry about my boyfriend's group chat?
Oh, okay, interesting.
This secret came to light after my partner, whom we can call Damon.
Bro, she's complaining about a group chat. She called her boyfriend a partner. Poor Damon. Damon's living with a demon.
Damon got invited to a Bucks party interstate.
Bachelor's party.
I immediately felt icky about it because it's not inclusive to everyone. It caused a lot of controversy between some of us women, the partners left behind.
I bet.
So we all organised a time to catch up and talk it through.
So let me get this straight. The guys wanted to go out for a bachelor party, and so all the women got together and complained about him? I believe that.
When we caught up, some of us found out about the intense bullying taking place in their boys' group chat. Screenshots of some of the messages between the boys were being shown around. And no, don't worry, no one snuck into their partner's phone. The boys happily showed up the contents, which makes this even worse. The screenshot I saw included negging about the boys who couldn't attend, making homophobic slurs, and calling the women gatekeepers for holding the...
This is why they shouldn't be on online games. Oh no!
I'm a proud ally for the LGBTQIA, and I have loved ones who are queer, so I was really upset to read this. Before this, I never questioned what was being said in their group chat.
Yeah.
I generally trust Damon. This screams toxic masculinity. From what I saw, Damon wasn't a part of...
Like she feels as if she's about to get a hammer and find this Damon and perform acts of savage violence on him. Because he had the audacity to say shit on a group chat. You know, I don't want to hear right-wingers bitch about, oh, my birth rates, oh, pornography. If this is how a Western woman behaves, I don't blame any of the men. I would, you know, if it wasn't for pornography, you're right. You know what? Okay, fine. Jesus Christ, give me a monastery. Birth rates can go fuck themselves. I'm going to become a monk. I'm going to fucking become a monk. I'm not going to bring a child in this world so that he can suffer at this level of fucking oppression. Oh, he said something on a group chat. Oh, How much do you want to bet? Seriously, like, how much do you want to bet that if these women had the possibility of getting that guy fired if they knew who he was, they would do it? If they could, like, ruin his entire life because he said words on the internet, they would fucking do it. Don't give me the shit, oh, we don't have children because we're poor. No. Like, they don't have children because this is, like, the other side, you know? Like, this is... No, seriously, imagine living with people like this. Imagine having a wife like that. Holy shit. I'd rather date a transgender person. Like, I never thought I would say this, but like, if I was single, like, I would get a man and I would say, you know what? Can you start pretending to be a woman at least? Like, I beg you. I beg you, like, because like the bar is so fucking low. The bar is so fucking low right now that anything, you know, that's Jesus, God, Dios mío. I still can't get... No, seriously, it makes my blood boil. I can't go to the end of that video. It's just like, it's so triggering. Yeah, the body's on... No, the body's not on the floor. See, like, if the body was on the floor, it would still be high. Like you'd still have, like, okay, the possibility of, like, going downstairs and still going under the bar. No. The bar is being buried. The bar is so fucking low, it's in China right now. It's not even like all women have to do is to be kind to men. It's like, man, like, give them some fucking space. Give them some fucking space. You know, like when you have girl nights out and they go out and they gossip and shit. And like, obviously it wouldn't be nice if a man was there to judge them and to be like, oh, well, you know, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't think like that, you can't think like this. I mean, you know, imagine like the opposite, cause like it's not really equal between genders, so I will find like an equivalent, right? Cause you're still comparing apples to oranges when you compare men and women. The gender binary does exist, but like imagine how seething women would be if you'd have like guys like constantly talk about the way they dress when they go out. And it's like, oh my god, like, she wore that cleavage. Oh, no. Oh, she wore a cleavage when she went out. Oh, and she bought shoes. Ah. Right? It's kind of like that. Now imagine that it's systemic at the societal level and just constantly not fucking stop. And it's actually succeeding in destroying men's spaces. And everywhere you go, like now there's AI that records how you play online. And they constantly like tone police and listen to your language and shit. And it's coming from women that don't even play video games. That's what pisses me off. Like that wasn't the face of a person that plays Call of Duty. It wasn't the face of a person that goes in group chats. But she wants to regulate the spaces where she's not even there. Not to mention, you know, like the group chat. It's like if someone was genuinely butthurt, like if there was an actual homosexual over there that got the gay slurs, don't you feel like he would have reported? Like there is the function to actually report people and get them banned. But this is interesting, right? Like everyone was a consenting adult in that group chat. Everyone just, you know, was okay with the banter. But for some fucking reason, right, like the Karen that wasn't there, she's saying no, that they shouldn't behave like that. We need to have Keir Starmer to make like 5 task forces from his taxpayer money in order for him to get arrested. There are quite a few girl chats, there's girl chats that do exactly the same thing, including bragging about cheating, getting away with it, shoplifting, and going on dates with people that just eat food. And you know what? I wouldn't police them! Leave them be. If that's what they like to do in their free time, leave them fucking be. I don't care, right? Like, oh, well, strangers are gossiping on the internet. Here's the deal. I leave them be, they leave me be. Like, can we have that, right? Like, just leave them alone, and in exchange, they leave us alone. But no, they can't do that. And so, like, we're in this situation. Women like that have a lot in common with the nanny state. But they are the fucking nanny state. They're literally the enforcers. Like, they're the jackboots of 2025. They don't actually beat you up. No, they call HR. They call the cops if you happen to be in the UK. They go on to terms of service on social media. They get jobs there. And then they behave like that deer from Twitch. Who's like, I got all the power and people shouldn't fear me. Yeah, leave men alone. Task impossible. And this is the thing, you know? This is why I never really got ass hurt when you had like trans women invading women's spaces. And they were complaining, oh my goodness, like there's a man in my locker room. Oh, there's a man in my bathroom. Good. There should be. Seriously, it's like... When you notice just the level of vindictiveness and the invasion of every single male space... I remember like in 2018, they were upset that there's these things called Gentleman Club. I was like, oh, well, it's not inclusive. That they even went after the Boy Scouts Club. It's not inclusive. It's not inclusive. It's like, motherfucker, you get like women locker rooms. You get sororities. You get women-only gyms. You get clubs and bars for women. No one is trying to take that away from you, right? Like, what happened with freedom of association? Like, do we not respect human rights anymore? Like, do women have to be everywhere, even in my bathroom when I take a shit? It's like, what's wrong with having, like, a male-only space? Like, girls' nights out is fine, right? Like, it should be. It should be like girls' nights out. Women go out, fine. Why can't it be men's nights out as well? If you move your avatar closer to the caution sign, it would look like I peed on the floor. Get the fuck out. Hold on. Chat in Discord. Reading out loud equals channel ban. I really miss the times when you could actually say whatever the fuck you wanted on the internet. And it's really sad that we're never going to get them back. But it is what it is. At this point, I've started to think the idea that Islam is better. Well, no, it's a trade-off. Like, you get some things that are better and you get some things that are worse. Like the thing with Islam, and this is actually a big problem, is that, you know how you have, like, the Chads on Twitter, and apparently, like, all the women go for the 5% of the guys, right? Now, imagine that those guys could actually marry all those women. And so you end up with a lot of men that actually don't have women because the rich guys, they manage to marry all of them. So, like, that's an Islam problem. And you have, like, a lot of angry young men that, you know, can never get a date. And so, like, the only thing they can do is to leave the country in search of a better life. So, no, I don't think that Islam is necessarily good. And if you look at a lot of Muslim nations, like, there is a lot of violence because a lot of these teenagers that never get a girl, right? Because, like, religion doesn't allow them to have adultery. And a lot of the older men, they manage to marry a lot of women. So you end up with, like, very, very angry young men with a lot of hormones. And they can't watch porn. They can't have sex with a chick. Right? Like, it's really problematic if you think about it. So, no, I don't think, like, Islam is the solution for this. Even though, like, I wouldn't say that it's not cathartic. The problem is, like, you would see a lot of these women, if you actually bring Islam, like, they would start enforcing it. Women are usually the enforcers of the status quo. Like, look at Iran. They had this thing with the hijab off, where they protested for the entire, like there was an entire week where they protested and women walked around without hijabs. And the ones that bitched the most about it were other women. It is what it is. And so, like, if you had Islam, like, you would see a lot of women, like, no, like, being, yeah, we need more, and you need to put your burqa on, and you need to go pray, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, women literally enforce Sharia where it operates. I mean, there are videos on YouTube that show the police of vice and virtue. That's what they call it in Saudi Arabia. And the women that are in that police, like, the idea is, like, men enforce it on other men and women enforce it on other women. And the women that enforce it are very vicious. Like, cruelty so. It is what it is. Even my wife said, like, when she's going to a gynecologist, like, she prefers going to a man gynecologist because, like, the women are really brutal. Like, they got no chill. I still do not use the ladies' bathroom, says the Sarsi Maker, at the office. I have respect for legacy women, but it's getting weird going into the men's room as a woman. Plus, dudes are getting confused when I walk in there. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, if it's your office, it's probably people know you, and it's might be different. I don't know. You can always use the handicap bathroom, I suppose. Like that, no one is going to complain then, unless there's like a person in a wheelchair, and then they may complain. How is it that different than dating now? Well, because at least the Chad, right? Like, he doesn't marry the woman, so, like, he gets bored of one and goes with another. But if it's a marriage, like, the women would be taken forever. It's the same type. who would be hardcore Christians in the 90s. Yeah. No, like seriously, like if you look back in the 90s, like women were hardcore Christians. If you look now, women are... The reason they do it, I think it's subconscious. I think it's not that they care about the ideology or they like it or anything like that. Is that it gives them power over other people. And so like if you force other people to conform, it actually gives you status quo. Like it makes you look more moral, even though you're not. This is an interesting thing, you know, like the Romans, they were very pragmatic people and they believe virtue is action and bitching and whining about it is sin. So people that constantly complain and tell other people to be moral, they're the ones that deserve the homophobic slurs. And people that actually do action, that's virtuous. Yeah, they love honor and power. It's not just women, though. It's like soy men as well. Like, if you notice, you know, the corporate drone, the one that does the soy face, the same shit. Usually, though, like, they're not judging others necessarily. They're overperforming and like, look at me, you know, I'm inclusive. I'm anti-racist. I'm doing the whole correct thing. Nah, nah, nah. Women can't join proper police or military because they don't have physical force, so they rely on social policing. Anyway, I wanted to rant about this because I couldn't watch it myself. I needed you, chat, for emotional support. What is this? We got a hot take from Twitter. Like the first thing that I opened the internet, sorry, the website. It's this. Okay, let's see what we got. I love it when it's like a hot take that you need to respond to. Disabled people were one of the first group targeted by Nazis. The coined the term useless eaters. I don't think like disabled people were the first ones targeted by Nazis, and I don't think like all the disabilities either. Cause see, like Nazis, they had their sense of self-preservation and they realized, okay, I can go to war, I can end up in a wheelchair, right? And so I shouldn't be too harsh. People with wheelchairs. Now, it is true, like, the Nazis did actually go about people with genetic disabilities, yes, but they didn't go after disabled people, and they wouldn't call them useless eaters. I think they even had welfare programs for them. But anyway, you know, like, why does the truth matter when you're looking at this? They tested the gas chamber on us. I don't think that people in wheelchairs were taken to the gas chambers in Nazi Germany. I don't know if this is controversial or not, but like if you go to the museums, they don't have wheelchairs over there. They knew most people wouldn't fight to save our lives. That's why the president using the R slur is so dangerous. So it all makes sense, right? Like America is 6 months away from the gas chambers because the president said the word retard. This is right. Like let me understand something. For the last, how many years? 5 years or 6 years or so, the word was a slur. But like before that, it was perfectly acceptable. Like, my nation uses the word retard the same way that Australia uses the word cunt. Or the same way that the United States uses the word bitch. When are we, like, if her theory was true, we would have gas chambers by now. But for some fucking reason, we don't. And so maybe she's just an idiot, right? So I don't use that word, you know? Maybe she's just moronic. Maybe this is coming from a cretin. Is that better? Like, if I use different words, is it better? Even though they mean the same thing? It's the tone policing that really pisses me off. It's like, what words can you use? It's like, well, shouldn't it actually depend on context, though? Like, isn't human language about the context, the inflection of a person's voice, the body language? Look up Action T4. The fuck is Action T4? Where should I look it up? I'm scared. What if I find pornography? Action T4, Nazi extermination program for the disabled. All right, hold on. Let me check. Maybe you're right. You know, holy shit. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Nazi state-run mass murder program targeting disabled people inside Germany and Austria. They were deemed unworthy of life. Okay. So we're talking about children born with deformities, individuals considered incurable burdens or economically useless. Those, okay, hold on. Is it about genetical issues, or would someone in a wheelchair be considered? Ah, holy shit. Okay, I was wrong. I'm willing to admit. I'm going to man up, and I'm willing to admit that I didn't know. I thought it was only genetical issues. So the Nazis were actually retarded. Because if you have a law like that, the problem is like you send men to war, right? So like you're sending your own soldiers to fight in the Soviet Union, and they come back bald, like with missing legs, missing arms, and then like, okay, if the system is to get rid of the useless eaters, then what do you do? Because like those people have fought and bled for the fatherland, but now they're in a situation where they can't feed themselves. So that would probably lower morale a little bit, don't you think? Or even if like someone in the party member, like let's say Hitler himself, like he has a car crash or something, and now he's in a wheelchair. So yeah, no, it's I didn't thought that they're that stupid, but apparently I was wrong. I take it back. Still, I don't think it's because people use the word retarded that causes all of that. Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're a Terminator and you're thinking like pure logic and maximize nation's GDP on I guess like a perfectly lawful evil mindset, you would say, okay, well, if we get rid of the people that consume, then we make more money. But when you actually realize what that means, that any person that can make money becomes or turns into someone that consumes, it's not good. And not to mention, you know, like if the system goes on and you start normalizing the idea that people who can't produce are a drag on society, then what happens with the elderly? Like, you're going to reach a certain point where someone else that's more radical will say, well, why should people live after the age of 65? Because after the age of 65, the quality of life decreases anyway. The joints start hurting. The eyes lose their sight. You know, then life starts being a drag. So may as well get the Canadian healthcare, right? I mean, this is what happens when you push the boundaries. Like, someone will want to push it a little bit more. And it's going to be very difficult to find an argument on why it's not desirable if you already made the principle that it was dragging society back, shouldn't be. But anyway, I didn't know that, so I'll actually look into it. They didn't hide Action T4 or were ashamed of it. It's very well documented. Well, yeah, see, this is the problem, that they actually don't teach about Nazism. Like, all I know from it is from pop culture and overly exaggerated documentaries. I was also more focused on World War II, you know, like the battles, the economy, the logistics. But I didn't know about this one, and so yeah, I should actually make a video because it's interesting. Although, like, making videos about the subject is also problematic because I live in Romania. They don't really like people discussing the Nazis or the Iron Guard or other things, and I mean, the law is the law, right? Gotta respect it. It's easy, gang. When you want to insult someone, use the most up-to-date, politically correct term as an insult. Well, yeah, this is why you can use Cretan. But the thing is, like, I don't want to insult people. I just want to say the word that's funny in the moment. I want to, you know, be entertaining. And in order to do that, I need to have access to all the words in the vocabulary. I don't like being limited and having my creative wings stifled. Can you imagine not having to listen to a 65-year-old socialist's opinions? Would be amazing. Well, yeah, but what happens if you become a socialist at the age of 65, huh? See, like, that's the problem. Anyone can see, economically speaking, Germany was destined to lose. I think they were, yes. A lot of people, they like the World War movies and the documentaries, and, you know, it's the German war engine and the tanks and shit. Most of their logistics were still done by horses. Their logistics were abysmal. And the interesting thing is that they ran out of oil. And so Romania was helping, right? My nation was helping them. We had a lot of oil fields. But they didn't have oil, and they went to war against the Allies. Mathematically, it was impossible to win. The interesting thing, though, and this is something that's probably controversial, but I don't give a fuck. If they wouldn't have invaded Poland, there would probably have been statues with Hitler right now as the best German politician, because he was already in Time magazine. America was already doing business with German with German companies. And so had he not invaded Poland, or had he invaded Poland and then immediately like sue for peace and withdrawn and hold just a little bit, I honestly think that he would have been remembered today the same way that Bismarck is remembered. It is what it is, you know. And the thing is, I actually tried wondering, like, why is it that Germany managed to conquer all of Europe? And at first I thought, well, like, they were pretty good. I mean, they had to be, right? Like, if you conquer all of Europe. But then it's like, no, Europe just wasn't ready. Like, they already went after a world war. And you had, like, political upheavals in France. And the Poles, they were prepared for either the Nazis or the Soviets invading, not both at the same time. And so it wasn't actually that impressive. Sergeant Gunnery, can you give me your Steam ID? I want to gift you my Furry Dictator so you can play it on Steam. I will not play my Furry Dictator on Steam. I'm sorry. Like, no. As you can see, I don't even do Let's Plays. Last time I did Let's Play, I had only 25 people watching. And so I'm a slave to my audience. I get the message. And again, anything that has to do with the Nazis is something that I should stay away, because my nation has very strict laws, very ambiguous laws. I don't want to say something that I shouldn't. Could have said he was holding Poland to keep the Soviets at bay. Well, yeah, I guess, while allying with the Soviets in order to, yeah, no. Most German people are the chilled ones. They are, but they're Protestant. And so, like, they have this mentality that my way of doing things is the right one. If my neighbor isn't doing it correctly, then I need to force good upon my neighbor. You get to see this during the pandemic. It's the type of Protestant mentality that drives Eastern Europeans insane. This is why we call Russia the Eastern problem and why we call Germany the Western problem. It's both of them have, like, different reasons. But they drive us crazy. It's no. And the Hungarians and the Poles, they're the Interimario. If I play Nikkei, they will come. If I play Nikkei, my channel gets demonetized. Last time I did this. They were Catholic in the 30s and the 40s. Weren't they, like, parts of the Holy Roman Empire? I mean, before Germany, right? Like, you had Austria and Prussia. And then you have the guy that comes up and nails some questions to a church door and causes the religious wars in Europe. Some with the basement laundry room, V. I like the troll house better. Okay, well, you're going to get the troll house next episode. Sins of the past? What are you talking about? Well, like the Protestant thing? That's not a sin of the past. That's a cultural thing. It's a cultural hallmark. If you're meaning about Russia. If you're meaning about Russia, yeah, I mean, at some point you gotta do the pattern recognition. Like, I'm sorry, it's not about the Soviet Union either. It's about the fact that they broken every single pact that they signed with my country. Every single fucking one. No exception. Historically speaking, before the Cold War. And so, like, look, it's not about one thing, right? But, like, when you're doing it systematically over the course of many years, decades, centuries, and you keep... Like, that... See, let me put it this way, okay? Like, the thing with Russia, there is a reason why the entirety of Europe is in NATO. Like, you don't notice this with America, right? Like, America is also a superpower. They also did a lot of bad shit. But you don't see, like, Mexico, Canada, China, Russia joining an anti-American alliance. No, it's like literally every single nation just, like, joins NATO because they're afraid of Russia. Now, maybe at some point you can say, well, perhaps Russia has did something in order to spook everyone, right? Like, Mexico is not afraid of America. Canada is not afraid of America. I mean, maybe they are economically, right? But they're not afraid that Abrams tanks are going to roll over the border anytime soon. And meanwhile, everyone that's next to Russia, I mean, holy shit, the Baltic countries, like, you can hear their pucker clench from here. And so, yeah, no, it's not like, why is NATO coming up to Russia? It's like, why do so many nations want to join NATO? It's costly to join NATO. It actually costs you money. And you're losing some of your sovereignty, right? Like, you're losing like some of your military decisions and some abilities, and you have to send troops and shit, and it costs 5% of the GDP. Like, it's not like a cheap thing to join NATO, yet every single nation begs, like, please, NATO, have us in. Yeah, Russia's aura is too strong. To be fair, though, I will say this. Okay, just so you know that I'm not an ideologue, and anyone should correct me if they want. Russia hasn't lost a single war. In the sense of, like, having people coming in and conquering Russia. Like, Russia never got conquered ever since, like, what, the Golden Horde, right? But, like, after that, the only time it lost was to civil war. They left World War I, so they would also have been on the winning side if they stayed. But World War II, they won. And I guess, like, they lost the Cold War, right? But, like, their nation was still intact. Like, you don't... They won against Napoleon. Oh, yeah, they lost the Winter War. But, like, again, it's not like the Finnish. It's not like the Finnish went into Russia proper, right? I mean, what I'm saying is, like, America also lost wars, but, like, you don't have, like, Mexico actually going in and conquering territory. The Russo-Sino War? Okay, right, fine. So there's one that... I need to look into this a little bit more then. They folded in World War I, but I don't think, like, they lost, because they were on the winning side, right? Like, they were with the Allies, and the Allies won. And they folded because communism. Like, they lost an internal civil war. They lost to the Japanese Navy. I need to read a little bit more about the Russia-Sino War. And Finland did give up land, that is correct. But still, they humiliated them. Finnish were in no position to continue fighting anymore, as well after the Winter War. Yeah, they actually, I think, like, the reason why Hitler invaded in Barbarossa and why they actually decided to go into Russia is because they thought Russia is a joke. And it's due to the way that Finland managed to defend itself. And to be fair, one of the biggest reasons that the Nazis actually had such huge gains into the Soviet Union, especially in the early days, is because Russia just went through a purge. Like, Stalin just executed a lot of his generals and didn't expect that to be the moment when the Germans go in. Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, yeah, but, like, okay, look, if you're projecting power over another continent and you're losing, it doesn't count. Like, I would say, like, losing a war as in, if now Ukraine would actually go and start conquering places and go all the way to Moscow, you know? Napoleon tried that. The Nazis tried that. Didn't work. I wouldn't say, like, America was losing... I mean, well... If the Vietnamese would have actually gone into the United States and started conquering land, like, that's what I would talk about. Like, I think I should have said Russia has never been conquered. Okay, like that's actually a better way of framing it, right? Because like losing wars they did, but getting conquered they haven't. The only times they got conquered is during the Civil War, where the Soviets took over, the Bolsheviks. Sorry, where the Bolsheviks took over. Yeah, they did to Mongols. Okay, fine, but after that, like after the Mongols, they haven't. When was the Mongol conquest though? Like that was what, like 600 BC, or like is it before the year 1000? I guess, yeah, like the Mongols and the Huns. All right, fine. But like after that, the recent history, like after the French Revolution, they haven't been conquered once. Yeah, except that one time they got conquered by the Golden Horde. Okay. There was also that really weird time where the Russia's PMC were literally marching to Moscow, and they almost got there uninterrupted. Oh, so you're talking about Prizgonin. Yeah, Prizgonin. I genuinely like don't know what the fuck was up with that. So the Wagner group, right? Like the Russian military forces, they decide to march on to Moscow. I think like what they were hoping is that someone would negotiate or someone would try to stop them. I don't know what happened. Like, literally, no one negotiated, no one tried to stop them, and they almost entered Moscow. Now, the thing is, Prizgonin obviously knew he can't take Moscow. Like, it was to defend it, and he didn't have the numbers. And not only that, it's not like a video game where you have infinite ammo. Like, if he tried to lay siege to Moscow, like, obviously the weapons would run dry, and more than that, his men would have defected. So I don't think he expected to get to that point. I think like maybe he believed that simply like marching on to Moscow, like more people would join him, or you know, like something would happen in the government and the Ministry of External Affairs would get shafted. But that didn't happen. So like he probably did have a talk, and he tried to go into exile, but then he was assassinated for the audacity. And now he's probably isekai in a world where, you know, he's surrounded by elves, women, and has a harem with monster girls and shit, and talks about, like, the time when I used to be a world leader. Yeah, the plane, the official, the statement is also very interesting. They didn't say the plane had a bad window. They said that he was high on cocaine, and he was playing with a grenade, and the grenade exploded, and apparently, like, that's what caused the plane crash. And everyone in Russia is like, yeah, that's totally what happened. Yeah. It's kind of funny because, like, the way they're saying it, it's almost like they had someone survive inside the plane to tell them the story. Like, how the fuck would you know, right? I'm actually curious, though. Hold on, let me ask ChatGPT, because this is something that I'm dying to know what the AI thinks. So, what the fuck was Prizgonin thinking when he decided to go to Moscow? And he reached and realized, okay, and now what? I'm going to Moscow and then I'll figure it out, March, was one of the purest political faceplants of the 21st century. A man starting a revolution with the strategic depth of a bar fight. What he thought he was doing, he believed the regular army would defect. Ah, okay. He assumed that half of the Russian military hated Shoigu and Gerasimov, they do, and that the hate would transmit into, sure, let's commit high treason today. He thought units along the route would switch sides and march with him, like it's some sort of Slavic version of Caesar crossing the Rubicon. He believed that Putin would bring first, the theory. March fast, take Rostov, move on to Moscow, and Putin, terrified of bloodshed, fire Shoigu and Gerasimov to place him. Basically, he tried to speedrun a coup. He believed his popularity in the army means actual political power. Wagner's battlefield reputation made Prizgonin think he had mass legitimacy. Spoiler, being good at running and gunning convicts into mid-grinders isn't the same as having transitioned to government plan. He assumed that the Kremlin was weaker and more fragmented than it actually was. He expected generals to hedge their bets and governors to wait and see. Instead, the elite closed ranks faster than you can say oligarch assets seized. Okay, so he gets to Moscow, and what now moment? He got within 200 kilometers of Moscow and realized that nobody had defected. Not one major military formation joined him. He had Wagner versus the entire state. He had no political program, no interim government, no plan to secure media, no civilian support. No one even drafted a "Dear Putin, your fire" statement. He marched to Moscow with less paperwork than a McDonald's shift change. He couldn't fight his way into the capital. Roxrivia, MOD loyalists, and Chechnyans were preparing to fight in the suburbs. Wagner would have been annihilated, and he knew it. He realized Putin would kill him once the Kremlin publicly branded him a traitor. In Russia, that is basically a heavily notification that your life expectancy is now measured in hours. Did he actually cause the plane crash? There is no publicly verifiable proof that Putin personally ordered the plane crash. Long answer, come on, everyone know what it looked like. The plane exploded midair. U.S. intelligence assessed that it was likely onboard explosion, not mechanical failure. Multiple Kremlin-linked analysts openly implied that it was punishment. Every other Wagner senior commander on board died at the same time, extremely convenient. No document, no intercept order, no whistleblower. What every geopolitically literate adult concluded in 0.2 seconds. Airplane accident in Russia happening right after a mutiny, a march to Moscow, a humiliating deal forced on Putin, several public speeches by Prigozhin insulting the army leadership, and a growing mythos around Wagner. The realistic logic chain. Prigozhin staged an armed rebellion, blah blah blah. So yeah, people don't believe it. Write me a short plot for an Isekai where Prigozhin wakes up as a young lad being held by a busty elvish woman and all the anime tropes. Alright. The reborn as the Elf Queen's problem child. After the totally accident plane explosion, Prigozhin opens his eyes, expecting hell, only to find himself in a glowing meadow, tiny, naked, and crying because he's been reincarnated as a baby in a fantasy world. He is cradled by a tall, absurdly bustly high elf queen, whose outfit violates at least 3 Geneva Convention. She announces with spark in her eyes, "You are chosen by the world tree, my little hero." Prigozhin, now stuck in the body of a newborn named Yev Elgin, literally screams, "Not again! I'm back at the bottom of the chain of command." Plot summary, the rebirth. He is immediately blessed with unique skills, logistical genius, which in his world means he can instantly optimize any caravan, siege engine, or magic supply line. The elf thinks this is a holy gift. He thinks, "Great, I'm quartermaster again." The Elf Queen's son. The Elf Queen dotes on him constantly, carrying him between her breasts like a warm pillow. Every anime trope. Accidental suffocation, overprotective mother energy, magical baths, sparkling close-ups. He hates every second but can't talk yet. Growing up too fast. At the age of 5, anime rules, he's already leading the Elven Guard in ambush drills. The Queen beams with pride. Every general in the kingdom panics at this tiny warlord barking orders with stone-cold explosion. The Demon King threatens. The world faces an invasion by the Demon King, who commands an army of monsters with terrible discipline. Prigozhin sees opportunity. If I can't march on Moscow, I can march on this idiot. He begins reorganizing the elven forces, introducing horrifyingly efficient tactics the elves have never seen. The Queen misunderstands everything. Every time he raises an army, she assumes he's doing it to impress her. Every time he trains soldiers, she thinks he's making new friends. Every time he talks about crushing his enemies, she pats his head and says, "Oh, my sweet child wants to protect the forest." The final arc. The mini warlord. By the age of 12, he's leading an elite mixed battalion of elves, dwarves, and Biskin. He marches towards the Demon King castle, muttering, "This time I'll actually finish the job." The Demon King takes one look at this reincarnated war criminal in short pants and tries to surrender on the spot. See, why is it that the fucking AI makes shit more funny and better than Hollywood? Like, if anyone has an answer to this, please let me know. Like, it's just... People hate the AI, but I'm waiting for that story, you know? I'm waiting for that story that actually makes me laugh, gives me some emotions. I know I'd watch the show, right? What do you mean the final arc? This could be a 2,000 chapter web novel. Hold on. If Kyle Rittenhouse was the final boss of this series, Kyle reincarnates as well in this world, and he is destined to cross the state line with the unholy weapon, causing the destruction of the world, and Prince Godin has to stop him. Would he be able to do it? Absolutely. This is purely fictional, over the top, right? Final boss, Kyle crosses the state line. Rittenhouse, the world ender lore. Kyle reincarnates into the same fantasy world, but instead of getting a normal blessing, the gods accidentally give him a unique skill in interstate apocalypse. Whenever he crosses a line, literal line, magical line, his sacred weapon, the AR-15 of Calamity, gains a catastrophic world-ending buff. He's destined to walk across the sacred border, triggering an explosion that wipes out the world. The monks whisper, when the one who crosses lines walks, mountains fear to stand in his way. Could Prince Godin stop him? Yes, but barely. And only because he thinks his supply chain's that morals. Prince Godin advances logistic-based war crimes magic. His unique skill, logistical genius, becomes the most broken ability in the setting. He can drain enemy supply lines, intercept magical deliveries, sabotage divine weapon shipments, reroute marching routes in real time, and forge fake borders to throw Kyle Rittenhouse off. Kyle's advantage, anime protagonist physics, infinite stamina when running across borders, shonen power-up flashbacks, mysterious American narrator giving him buffs, the unholy AR-15 that auto-aims with JRPG sparkles, the clash of fates. When Kyle approaches the sacred border, Prince Godin builds 42 fake borders, relocates the real border 500 meters south, orders a strike team of elves, dwarves, biscuit, and logistical interns, uses decoys in order to exhaust Kyle's line crossing stacks. Kyle begins crossing borders at hyperspeed, powering up like a Dragon Ball character. The ultimate move, administrative reclassification. There are no borders left to cross because he convinced the Elf Queen to declare the entire world a single unified state. Kyle Rittenhouse power collapses instantly. You can't just remove state lines. Prince Godin dead-eyed. I already did the paperwork. Ah, this shit. When it's Hollywood, chat. Fake borders, but Kyle's power works for any line, right? So fake borders will still count? No. He convinced the queen to unify the world, so. Anyway, right, chat? Thank you for watching. I appreciate the super chats. Hopefully you had fun. I do enjoy the AI a little bit too much. I will have to enjoy it a little bit less from now on. But